Hey guys, George Lehman here again. So I have had some people reach out with, interest in coaching and stuff, and interest in coaching for fitness stuff as I've done for, I don't know, close to 10 years online or something like that. No, more. I haven't been doing any fitness coaching in years. I have never done real estate coaching just because, I've talked to people about it endlessly online, but I've never actually. I think a couple people have benefited from some of the information. I do know some people that got into real estate investing because of the information, and that's super cool. But the reason I stopped, so this video, I'm going to explain why it's much better for me not to work for money. And by that, I mean it's much better to me to work for investments than to work for money. So these won't be exact numbers, because I probably should have written them down to give you exact numbers. However, so soon, whatever, a few weeks, I'll close on 50 units. Hopefully in the next year or so, I'll be at around 65, partly from buying more, partly from converting some of the houses I have into not multi-family, but sort of like multi-efficiency or multi-mother-in-law, something like that. Because rents are going up so high in Florida that people can't really afford them. Like, a lot of people can't afford them. So what I'll be doing is I'll kind of be sectioning apart houses legally. You pull permits and stuff, and making it so people sort of have their own space. And then of course rents will go from whatever, $1,600 for a 2-bedroom house to, if there's 3 or 4 small efficiency type areas in the house, it'll be, 3,300 including utilities, or 4,400 including utilities. So that whatever work I put in, maybe I'll put in $20,000 or $30,000 or something to do that, possibly. Installing bathrooms, putting up walls and wet bars and so on and so forth, should increase the rent of those places, maybe double it, 2.5 times it, something like that. But anyway, the reason it's better for me not to work for money. So here's some relative examples. Let's say I did well with coaching, relatively well with coaching online, whether it was fitness or financial stuff. By financial stuff, I mean real estate stuff. Let's say I made $20,000 a month, and I'm obviously in a higher tax bracket than if I didn't make any money. So let's assume that, let's say I'm 30% tax bracket, which isn't a tax bracket, but just round numbers, and then self-employment tax, which I don't currently pay. I could limit the self-employment tax by paying myself a salary from a company, blah, blah, blah. Let's average it out again. Let's just say I'm losing 40%, okay, of whatever I make to taxes, around there. Again, not exact. So I'm making $20,000 a month. I'm actually making 12, okay? So I'm making $12,000 a month, and I do that all year. I have a great year. I make damn near $250,000. Working all year, super success, really great, wonderful, answering emails, doing my thing, right? At the end of the year, I have 150,000. If I was to invest that into something like stocks, well, we know what happened in stocks for the last year. They, in general, in America, they went down. While inflation went crazy, stocks went slightly down. And I guess crypto lost whatever percentage, depending on what cryptocurrency you were in, close to 50% over however long. I'm not sure if it's been a year. Don't follow it very closely. But let's just assume that I make 10% on that 150,000. So I make $15,000 a year. And then let's say I wanted to spend it. Okay. So then I pay taxes on it. And we could say stocks, and that would put me in a lower tax bracket, or obviously capital gains, or whatever, dividends. So 15%. Let's assume that it was peer-to-peer loans, or just loans in general. Okay, so I'm making 10% by lending money. So again, I'm in a tax bracket we're just going to say 30%. So, it would be higher than that, because remember, I just earned $240,000 from working, plus whatever I make from houses. So I'm probably paying like 36% or whatever it is. But let's just say it's 30. So I'm making $1,200 a month. I lose 30%. I lose $360 a month in taxes, and I'm down to whatever, 840, something like that. So now I'm making close to $10,000 a year. So I worked all year, super successful year. I bumped my income by $840 a month by investing every dollar I made, okay? And this is, again, assuming a relatively low tax bracket. So super successful work here. All the money I made, I didn't spend. I just paid taxes, and then I reinvested it, and I earned 10% guaranteed. And then I paid, like, a smaller tax bracket than I would be paying. I only paid 30% taxes on it. I bumped my income by $850 whatever dollars a month. Having the, say, 65 rentals I want to have in the next year would give me something around $70,000 a month in rent. Okay. If I bump rents by 4% per year, I think that's around $2,800. I think is what I found that out was, and then that $2,800 has monthly has expenses. So management, vacancies, repairs, property taxes, increases in insurance. So just go ahead and take 35% off the top. I think that leaves me around $1,800. Okay. So if I do nothing all year other than managers bump rents, and I answer emails sometimes, I'll bump my income by $1,800 before taxes monthly. If I work all year and have a super successful year and make 20 grand a month, I'll bump my income by $850 or something like that after taxes. Now, that $1,800, I have to pay taxes on it. Probably depends how I go about doing it. So if I'm using that money to buy, say, apartment syndications, okay, that have accelerated depreciation, which basically just means they write off the building faster. They speed up how their tax deductions over the first however many years. A lot of that income won't be taxed because I'll show losses on the apartment syndications that I'm purchasing. Sounds kind of complex, but I won't necessarily pay taxes on all that, and very possibly I could figure out how to pay none if I was buying a large building or a couple large buildings or a bunch of apartment syndicates every year and using accelerated depreciation, and it's very possible I could do that. It also depends on a number of other factors, what I'm doing in terms of repairs and updates and all sorts of things like that allow me to lower my taxes, who I've hired to help me, so on and so forth. But more or less, I make way more money just by bumping rent than I do working all year and being really successful. So even if I was to make a bunch of money online, it would be almost pointless for me, particularly in a situation where I don't need the money, I don't spend the money, I never really intend to spend the money other than on other investments. So it's kind of pointless money, but also if I just work super hard all the time, I'll do about half as good as if I do nothing, okay? Now, that's not factoring in that, maybe it'll be around $8 million in property at 60 units, which is, I think it's around 7 now in total stuff. So that going up, let's just say 4% a year is, whatever, hundreds of thousands of dollars I don't touch. Plus on mortgages, I pay off another, whatever, tens of thousands. So I make way more money doing nothing than I do working. And this is why, I recommend people do stuff through investing. If you were to do stuff through working, you end up paying way higher taxes. You can get your taxes down by, like I said, paying yourself a salary, or maybe living in Puerto Rico, or maybe, there's a bunch of stuff you can do that can lower your taxes. However, it just doesn't really make sense for me to work. And that's why I haven't been doing online coaching. And that's why even when people are, hey, I'll sign up for the year, how much is it kind of thing, I don't really know what to tell them in terms of coaching, because it's going to be better for me to make some type of program that people can follow, or a small course, or even just explain it on here so that everyone can benefit from it, because I'm actually not doing these videos for the money. I just wanted to do them. It just made sense for me to do them. Like, why? I was actually pretty happy that people were interested in how to retire in your 20s with a 5th grade education. That was cool, because I'm like, yes, be excited about that. Pay attention to that, do that. Like, figure out how not to have to do stuff. And then when you don't have to do stuff, you can choose what you want to do. And that's like what I recommend to people. And what I wanted to do was travel. If you wanted to live in Silicon Valley or something, it would be harder, right? But yeah, that's why I haven't been coaching, and that's why I don't like working for active income. It just doesn't really make sense for me. Particularly like when I can say I borrow $100,000 and it costs me $500 a month. and I use that 100,000 to make a 12% return, or a 13 or 14% return. And I buy a building that makes me $1,200 a month, and I make $700 a month difference. So I sign papers to borrow money, I sign papers to borrow a building. I get the same result as if I made nearly $240,000 or something like that from actively working. So instead of working all year, all month, having crazy success, I just sign papers twice. It just doesn't really make sense for me to do anything active. However, I like making these videos, and I decided that I'll make these videos as long as they're fun for me. And currently they are. I enjoy doing this. So this is why I like real estate investing. This is why I believe working for assets is better than working for money. Yeah, you got to work for money to buy assets, right? But the faster you can get into the assets making the money, the better, because the difference is obviously ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like I made $1 million doing a bunch of nonsense, if you ask me, buying properties the other year. Making that, having through work, through honest work, through I will teach you something one-on-one, man, that would have been fucking hard. That would have been something else. But instead, it was mostly like answering emails. Maybe some phone calls. Anyways, guys, there's the video. Like, share, and subscribe. If you like this information, say something. I like making it. This is what I want to teach you guys how to do. I want to share this with you guys. Fitness is great. Wonderful. I still work out. I still love training. I still, all that stuff. And I think you should too. I don't think you should ever stop. And I never will. But this is what I can give you that will give you a bigger difference in your life than anything. This is what I can give you that will change things for you far more than the fitness will, as shocking as that is. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching my videos. Let me know if you like it, and stay tuned for more. Thanks.